Well, good day today, Patrick. Welcome to the Introbiz Global Summit. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Tracy. Thank you so much. I'm doing very well. I'm doing very,
Excellent.
very well.
Oh, excellent. Well, ladies and gents, it's great to have Patrick online today. He's a great guy with a great story, and I know we recently met on Clubhouse, didn't we? You came into one of my rooms, I think, and we were chatting, and you told your story. So I'm just going to tell you, ladies and gents, a little bit about Patrick. He is a London bus driver, voted by his customer as London's happiest bus driver, receiving over 200 commendations and winning an award for outstanding customer service. He has overcome adversity, childhood abuse, addiction, and homelessness, to now being an ambassador for Transport for London, mentoring men and starting to work with a social enterprise, delivering recovery workshops in HM prisons all over the UK. He has appeared on TFL posters, adverts on the buses and the radio, helping to share the message of hope during the pandemic. So, Patrick, it's an absolute honor and privilege to have you here today. So, just tell us a little bit about yourself and where your journey, a little bit about your journey and the things that you've overcome in your life.
Well, thank you, Tracy. I'm humbled to be here and to be interviewed by such a powerhouse as yourself. So
Oh,
thank you so much.
it's a
Yes,
pleasure.
I'm really grateful for this opportunity. I always feel that it's good. I believe now that it's good to share one story, because if it helps one person, then my job is done. So yes, I was quite surprised when I was nominated for an award at my company. They said that, Patrick, would you like to come for an award ceremony? I was thinking, wow, what do you mean? And they said, yeah, because you've been received all these commendations, and we just want to show you, Anyway, I went to this award place, and I couldn't believe that there were so many bus operators and bus drivers and bus companies, and I didn't even know they had an award. So I went there, dressed up in a bow tie and shirt. The deputy mayor was there. This was at the mayor's place in central London near Tower Bridge. And anyway, they were talked about customer service, and there was 3 nominations, and they called Patrick's name, and I was quite shocked. So, and I walked up. I won the award for outstanding customer service, and also on a side thing, they actually said I was the best dressed as well. And life wasn't always like that, and I'm really glad and grateful that I am where I am today, because I grew up as a youngster not knowing what happiness was, because as you said earlier, my customers voted me as London's happiest bus driver. But when they used to come up to me in my cab and say to me, driver, you're happy? Oh, driver, have you had a bit? Driver, driver. And, I couldn't get my mind around that, because you've so rightly said, yes, I have come from homelessness. I have come from drug addiction. I have come from spending a bit of time as a guest of Her Majesty's, a prisoner, and you could understand that the mindset of one who's led such a negative life would be, it would, so being told by my customers that you're happy, that you brighten up my day, you're making my day. I couldn't understand it coming from the background I did. My mind was very negative in the past. However, when I dug myself out of the mess that I put myself in, and I used the tools which I learned from YouTube and reading books, like self-development YouTube videos and
Awesome.
reading self-development books because I didn't have no tools. I didn't have no one to copy or follow, but I knew that I had to change. I knew that the life I was leading or living just wasn't, it was wrong. It was all wrong. It led me into drug addiction. It led me into homelessness. It led me to prison. And I just knew that. And also it led me into depression and a really dark place, dark place. And I just knew that, well, I felt that I deserved not to live on this planet. But I'm grateful that I was still around. And I felt that no, I needed to dig myself out of this. So I listened to these, I read these books, I listened to these podcasts and YouTube videos, and I applied the lessons that I learned there. I feel that, I don't know if you've heard when they say that your mind, you build a new neural pathway, that if you do something over and over again, you create a habit. So the life I led, I was leading a habit. So in order to change it, I had to have new tools. And that's what happened. I adopted those tools to the new life that I wanted to live.
Amazing.
And it wasn't easy. It really wasn't easy because I had to relearn. I had to stop listening to the old friends who were telling me that, drug services don't work. They do work. Who was telling me that the social services, all they want to do is take away my kids. No, they don't. They want to help. That was telling me that, stay in drugs. It's a safe place. I knew, no, my life was better than that. I had to do better for myself.
What made you change your mindset, Patrick? Obviously, I know you read a lot of books, but what was the turning point for you actually shifting your mindset?
Well, Tracy, you see, all I could refer to is my past, because the life I'm living today is the beginning of a new journey. The change came when I was in a house in the middle of Hackney, and I was held hostage in this house.
Wow.
And for 5 hours, 3 guys took turns in attacking me. I was beaten. I was attacked viciously.
Wow.
And I wasn't scared. I welcomed death. They threatened that they were going to kill me. They said they were going out to get a knife. They all went out of the room. And I remember reaching out to the universe and saying, God, if you can help me, because I had 3 children at the time. I still got 3 children. And I didn't want my children to remember me as a drug user, because in my mind, the play that was picturing in my mind was I will be killed and my children will find out, and all their memory of me would be my dad was in a drug house, he was a drug user, and he was killed. So I reached out to the universe. I said, listen, I need to get out of this, because I can't leave this as a story for my children. No way, no way, no way, no way.
Awesome. Awesome. Well done, you. Well done. That's incredible.
I had a picture in my mind to jump out the window, and I looked. I made the first attempt. I bounced straight back, and I thought they'd hear it. I did it again. I went straight through, double glazing. I still don't know to this day how I did it. Thank God I was on the ground floor. I went straight to the hospital. All the friends, I just didn't listen to them. I started listening to professionals, doctors, social services. I just followed the steps, and I went rehab. And then here I am today.
Incredible. So incredible. So just tell everybody, you went on that journey. You obviously got better. You had all the good people around you. So tell everybody what you're doing now.
Well, today I am a bus driver. I work part-time as a London bus driver because I'm working on other things. I I work with a charity which I got involved with through the bus company called Forward Trust. I'm sure they wouldn't mind me mentioning them. And they help. They put right now we are doing this thing about helping to change the minds of employers, against people who've had either suffering through mental health or criminal records or convicts and addiction. So we're helping to change the minds of employers to show them that you can get good mileage out of someone who's either, who's put that life behind them, an ex-convict, an ex-addict, and they want, they've made mistakes and now they just want a chance to prove themselves. And I am a true example, that when I just dropped away all my inhibitions and beliefs that the police is against me, the probation is against me, my mother was against me, my uncles were against me, the neighborhood was against me, even the rats in Covent Garden were against me. When I put all that aside and I realized that the only person who disturbed my future was me. I'm the Michelangelo of my life. And when I realized that, and there's a process, success leaves clues, and there's a process.
Absolutely.
Yes, I took the steps, and here I am today. I haven't started yet, but I am trained to run workshops for Forward Trust, recovery workshops in prisons all over the UK. My company I work for now, they train me as a mentor, not just for bus drivers, but to take away and to use, which I am using to talk to youngsters, to teenage groups. I attend Zoom meetings with youngsters, and I share my story. I relate with those guys because, have they done stuff? I've done it too. I'm not proud of it, but that's my story. Whatever they've done or been through, I've been through it. So I could relate with those guys.
And I think, it shapes you. I think, everybody goes through adversity, everybody goes through challenges and we all have them. Life is not a bed of roses. But I just want, for you to give a message to people out there, you're so inspiring and what you've gone through is just nigh on incredibly, challenging in anybody's life. But you've come through the other side and now you're mentoring other people, So what do you love about mentoring other people? What do you get the biggest kick out of?
Well, do you know what, Tracy? I still can't see the what did you call it? The trauma or the hard what I've been through. I can't see it because growing up, it was drilled into me as a child that it's normal. The beatings and discipline, it's normal. And my customers telling me you're happy, you're happy, you're happy, and I'm thinking, well, I just made a decision to deliver good customer service. So I don't see that as being happy. I just see that as making that decision. So what I love in sharing with youngsters and young people and even older people is because I see it in their faces. I mean, even my colleagues at work, I give them a bit of information like, okay, particularly a colleague said to me, oh, the managers, they've just pulled me up and they've told me off about my bus because I didn't do the defect card properly. And so I let him talk. And then I've said to him, well, do you know what? They've done the same to me. Yeah. However, what you've got to understand is that the manager is under pressure to make sure that the drivers are checking their buses. Because this driver particularly thought that the manager was taking a pop at him. And I said, no, it's not just you. He did it to me, he did it to others, because he's just making sure that the buses are leaving the garage safe. You know, that the wheelchair ramps work, you know, that our lights are working, because it's a big vehicle and we are like big brothers of the road. And so, you know, the buses can't afford to not be 100% when they leave the garage.
And I think it's what, it's how some people perceive things, isn't it? You saw it from a positive, someone else saw it from a negative. And I think, having a positive mindset, like you said, you've read a lot of books. So what books did you read, and what were your most, did you have any one or two in particular that were your favorite, and who the author was?
Yes. I've read a few books and I've listened to a few YouTube videos. Napoleon Hill was my favorite. Les Brown, a champion. Oh, what's he saying? Les Brown. At first, I didn't like what's his name? He's American. He's quite loud, but then I've got to like him now because he's not always loud. I can't remember his name. Hopefully, it will come to me. And the books I've read which helped me were things like Think and Grow Rich. Now, normally I would think that title would suggest.
Napoleon Hill. Yeah, I love that book. I've read it myself.
Yeah, because I grew up as a Christian, that title would suggest that, money grabbers. However, it's not. It's got tools in there which helped me to focus on the better life. The Richest Man in Babylon was a book which helped me to get out of over £2,000 debt. I mean, how could a homeless person be in debt? But I was in debt. I grabbed money from wherever I could. £2,000 in debt, and increase my income all at the same time in the same job. So I didn't change my job. I just used the principles from The Richest Man in Babylon to decrease my debt and increase my income in the same job. Listen, anyone who's facing financial, not COVID financial, I'm talking about just, financial, get that book. It will, even The Richest Man in the Think and Grow Rich as well. And also, what helped me with customer service was Napoleon Hill, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
That was by Stephen Carnegie. No, Dale Carnegie. Sorry, not Stephen Carnegie. Yeah, it was Dale Carnegie. Yeah, Dale I've read that as well. Yeah, I read a lot of books.
That is the best. That is the best. And I heard from Napoleon Hill once on YouTube. He said to me that, well, not to me, but I see it like he was talking to me. He said to me, in whatever job you find yourself in, do your best. Do more than you're paid for. And I thought, wow, what can I do more in as a bus driver? Because all it is driving a bus. So I went out on a couple of buses to see the interaction, and there wasn't no interaction. This is before 4 years ago, before I got my job with HCT Group. I saw there was no interaction, so I promised myself that, you know what, I am going to speak to all my customers. And I spent time searching on YouTube for customer service, because I just wanted to be, not the best, but and you know what? It's not because I wanted recognition. It's because I was so grateful that I've got my life back. Because remember, I told you that I felt that rats were looking down at me because I'd reached that place in life. So the fact that I had turned my life around, and that's why I'm so grateful, so grateful, Tracy, for another chance at life. I'm so grateful that, because I think, who am I? My customers, it took 3 years for my customers to convince me that, Patrick, it's you help, you cheer us up. A little kid, a 9-year-old child said to me, drive. He looked up at me and said, driver. I said, what? He said, In all my 9 years, no bus driver has ever said good morning. Could you imagine? So this is what I do every single day. I bring
Oh my
this.
God, crazy, isn't it? Simple thing like just saying good morning and smiling at somebody that
Yeah,
not experienced that before. Wow, that's incredible.
yeah.
And it's how you make people feel, and oh, I love that, Patrick. I think, I think you're an amazing human being, seriously. And I think with what you've been through, it's just incredible. So obviously you've read some books. I know one of my favorites is Think and Grow Rich for Women, which is by my business mentor, Sharon Lecter, because she was approached by the Napoleon Hill to actually write that book for women. So that's a good one. And obviously Rich Dad, Poor Dad by her and Robert Kiyosaki is another one of mine. So I've read many, many books. It's, I love to absorb as much as I possibly can. So what is next for Patrick? What are you doing? What's your next 3-year goal?
Well, that's a great question, because I've always had a vision to, it's always around my homelessness, because I didn't understand. So I've always had a vision to be involved in property in some way. I like the idea of maybe having, having hostels for people, ex-convicts, or even like, people who are sort of struggling, but who'd love to have a beautiful home, or, to live in. So I thought of that. Even when I was a guest of Her Majesty's and, there was no hope at all, I still had that hope. And every time I listen to the YouTube videos, they tell me, like Les Brown says, that dream that you've had, pick it up, dust it off. It's possible. Yeah, that's one of his sayings. It's possible. Tell yourself it's possible. So I'm so fortunate today.
Absolutely amazing, Les Brown. He's been on Introbiz, and he's just an incredible human being as well. I love him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So I took a leap of faith. I went to a property auction, and there's a lovely man, Mr. Singh, who I've seen a couple of times, and I just said to him, I need guidance. I keep coming to these events and nothing's happening. So he took me to a lovely lady who now is my mentor, Ria Amaguchi, and she's a lovely sort of businesswoman, and and through her, she's encouraged me, and I've started a company called Happy Property Consultancy, which which I source land and property, for investors who have the same, is the word ethos, or who has the same passion as me to build affordable accommodation. I ain't got no money, but they've got the money. So, I'm looking for land for them so that, they could build these lovely homes so that, people could afford to live in them. Because there's many developers out there that are building properties that, they're wonderful, and our Prime Minister says build, 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 But in this period, I've met a lot of wonderful friends, because there's a saying that says, show me your 5 friends and I will tell you who you are. Now, I remember who my 5 friends used to be, and I obviously had to change my friends.
Of course.
In order to, because my thinking, it helps me to stay positive.
Yeah.
You see.
So how important do you think it is? Introbiz, we're a networking company. We're all about building relationships with people. How important do you think it is to have a good network around you?
Tracy, you're a great person. When I met you, as you said, on Clubhouse, I thought, wow, this is a powerhouse. You're a powerhouse.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a powerhouse, but
you're a powerhouse. I think you should adopt the name Boss Lady.
That's a first.
You see, I've learned from the books, and I've realized it in my life, that it's very important to gather a team around yourself, no matter which field you find yourself in, to gather, depending on what is in your heart, where you want to go. Then there are people out there that, as you think of this, you will attract like-minded people to yourself. So I believe and I do it every day. It's good, a positive move to surround yourself with positive people, you know, read positive books in your field, and just trust the process. And just
Absolutely.
trust the process.
Amazing. So one last question. Obviously, there's probably a lot of people out there, especially in this current climate, that who have struggled, who have got mental health issues, that have got massive challenges in their life, and they feel that there's no hope. And obviously, I know you like to give hope. So what would you say is your top 3 tips to help somebody if they're suffering or they're having a challenge in their life at the moment?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Well, my top 3 tips is tip 1, believe in the services that are out there. So depending on what one is going through, there is a service out there. Please believe in them. You know, reach out to them, and just follow the process. Believe in them, and you know they will help you. 2, well, I think it all revolves around that, because I'm also thinking about youths as well. You know, because as a youngster, I remember when I was a youth, we weren't trusting. You know, any youngster that is struggling or facing peer pressure, you know, listen, our parents got it wrong. Some of them, they didn't have the right tools. You know, don't blame them. Listen, if I'd listened, if I could talk to my 16-year-old self today, I'll tell my 16-year-old self, you know, listen to your mother, because she didn't have the right tools, you know, and stuff. But the things that she said were right. Don't follow bad friends. You know, don't follow bad friends. That was the main message. Don't follow friends. Don't follow friends. Don't follow bad friends. And forgive. Yeah, forgive.
Yeah,
Because for me forgiving someone, it's not like it's letting them off. It's helping me. Because by me, if I hold unforgiveness in my heart, it damages me.
of course. Absolutely. Oh my God, Patrick, it's been amazing having you on today. I've loved our time together. So if anybody would like to reach out to you, how can they reach out to Patrick Lawson, the one and only?
Reach out and touch somebody's hand.
Hey, you're a good singer.
Gosh, this is new to me. I'm on Instagram, Patrick_Lawson_. I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn. Just put in my name, Patrick Lawson, or London's Happiest Bus Driver, or Patrick Lawson Bus Driver. Some things would come up, and then you could, you know, link me that way.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. Really appreciate you. You're an absolutely incredible human being. You were just full of gratitude, full of, forgiveness, and you're very, very humble. And it's an absolute pleasure and an honor to have met you, Patrick. And thank you so much for being here with me today. Really appreciate you.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much. I just want to help others who've been in my situation. So please, guys, reach out. Thank you, Tracy.
No problem. Speak to you soon. Bye for now. Love you lot.